got it in the sport mode. I'm gonna give this person a little bit of distance and then we'll punch it. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a base model 2022 Chevy Trailblazer. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray for giving me some time with this Trailblazer. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 1.3 liter 3-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 29 around town and then 33 on the highway, with power outputs being 155 horsepower and then 174 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end of the Trailblazer. So first off, I love this paint color. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And then you guys can see the body lines here on the hood. And then coming down below, notice how we have the accent lighting there at the top. And then you actually have the headlight down below. It's something that Chevy's pretty much doing on all their vehicles, it seems like. And there's a fog light even lower down there on the bottom of the bumper. You guys can see the chrome trim right there in the center. And then notice this has more of a brushed appearance just down below that. And then the regular Chevy bow tie. And yeah, other than that, that is the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got two 25mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the trim on the wheels. So notice how we've got the silver there on the outside, and then the rest of the wheel is black, so it kind of really stands out. I think that's a cool design touch. And then you guys can see here with the fender flares, how those are plastic. Those continue down to the bottom, and then there's the plastic molding here on the side, and then same thing in the rear with the fender flare. And other than that, here's your full side view. You guys can see the rails there at the top of the roof, and then notice the trim around the windows is all blacked out, and then there's kind of like that blacked out portion there on the very back. Here's our key fob for the Trailblazer. We have our unlock, lock, remote start, and then the Chevy logo there on the back. Now as for the lift gate, it is hydraulic, so you just got to lift it up yourself. It does most of the work for you though. And then underneath here, got to loop through the strap. You guys can see that's where the spare tire lives its days. Hopefully you never have to use it. You guys can see storage space here on either side, and then the seats do fold down if you want even more storage space. And yeah, pretty simple in the back. They've got this little handle, but I find it easier just to grab onto the bottom of the hatch and then toss it down. Now finishing things here in the rear, first off you guys will notice the taillight design, and then we have all of our regular badges here on the back, parking sensors actually on the rear, and then notice they kind of like hide the exhaust tip itself, so there's like nothing that's obvious. You actually kind of have to duck down quite a bit, and you guys will now be able to see kind of like the muffler, and then you'll be able to see the exhaust tip there on the side just sticking out a little bit. So they just hide that for design purposes, and there you go. Now here's a door panel in the rear. So first off, this is kind of like softer touch, but it's not like padded leather or anything like that, so it's not like that soft basically. Got the window control here, and then I love these seats, like the design on them. So you guys can see it's kind of darker here and then lighter down below, and just look at the pattern on that. And yeah, I don't know, it's a nice thing to look at. And then here is the legroom, and you guys can see headroom. Notice there's storage space here as well. And other than that, pretty simple. Let's head to the front. Now here's a door panel at the front, which gets a little bit more interesting. You guys can see the trim here, and then this is like the same as the back in terms of the level of padding. And then notice the trim piece right there. Let's a quick look at the mirrors. All of our window controls, the driver window is automatic. You got your mirror adjustments, all that fun stuff. And then here are the front seats. So what you guys can see here is this is what's on the door panel itself. Anyways, really nice bolstering. Power adjustments there on the side of the seat. You can see the pedal layout just down below. Hood latch release, light controls, and the steering wheel is manually adjustable. There's where I'm gonna look before you pop in. So here is our steering wheel, which is pretty interesting. So pretty basic on the outside, but notice that there's like perforations here on this center portion, so you get a little bit of a better grip. You have controls here for the center stack on that side. We've got our cruise control on the other side. Radio controls are on the back of the steering wheel. Turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Now here is the center stack. Notice we've got analog gauges for most of it. We do have that screen there in the center though, which will give you different bits of information here. And you can also scroll up and down with it. Pretty straightforward stuff, nothing too crazy with that. And then we do have some different drive modes. And the main one, right, with the little race flag is like your sport mode. And then we do have a snow mode as well with a little snowflake. So yeah, there you go. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it in reverse, you got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. Resolution on the camera is great. As for the rest of the infotainment system, response time on the screen is really good. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is another nice feature to have. It's got these little buttons here at the bottom, kind of like the shortcut button with that, the home screen. So yeah, overall, easy to use. Vents at the top of it. Now down below here we have our single zone climate. Notice we have heated seats here for the front, and that's all for that. Charging area just down below. We have our snow mode. We have this for the sport mode, stability control, and then lane departure. And then on the other side we have auto stop start. This is front wheel drive, so there is no all-wheel drive mode. And then you guys can see the shifter here for the CVT. Got the low range. Have the parking brake right there. Couple cup holders, and you guys can see storage space here. And then the center console. And then there's more storage here above the glove box. And then we actually have a glove box. And then we have the mirror dimmer in lighter colored headliner. So the window's kind of dirty, so you guys probably won't be able to see the window sticker very well. Anyways, 2022 Trailblazer front wheel drive LT, total MSRP $25,535. And let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So we are setting off here in the Trailblazer. And first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, and I just drove a Traverse right before this, it's actually pretty good. Not as good as the Traverse, obviously, but this is a much smaller vehicle. But for being like a little small, zippy SUV, it's actually very comfortable. Seat comfort's really good too. Bolsters are pretty wide, so if you're a bigger person, you'll be able to fit in these seats. And yeah, overall, I think it's a comfortable vehicle. I think that they did a good job with this in terms of making it very daily drivable. And also, this little 3-cylinder, it's pretty torquey. Also, I didn't notice there's manual. Looks like this. Is that a manual shift? Ah, sport mode. There we go. So like there's no, it's not. It's not doing anything. Maybe if I go into L, it'll let me do something. Ah, there we go. So there's manual shifts on the side, but you have to be in the L mode to use them. And when I say manual, obviously it's a CVT, so it doesn't actually have gears, but you guys get what I'm saying. So going over the good old train tracks. Not as good as the Traverse, but still pretty good. I've got it in the sport mode. I'm gonna give this person a little bit of distance and then we'll punch it. Yeah, this little 3-cylinder's got some pep in its step. Definitely moves. Not so sure about the CVT in terms of how that feels, but this is pretty good. I mean, let's do the manual mode. Okay. Pretty decent in the manual mode. We're gonna slow down here. Let this person turn. Definitely feels like a CVT, that's for sure. I'm gonna take it out of the sport mode. So you know, it's good from acceleration standpoints. If Chevy threw like, you know, their regular automatic in this, that would feel a little bit better. But I can understand using a CVT in the base model and, you know, for better fuel economy, all that fun stuff. But anyways, yeah, let's get to sign things up with the Trailblazer. So exterior wise, I think it's a good looking vehicle. It looks like a mini Blazer. So if you like Blazer styling, you like the Trailblazer. Interior wise, I think it's pretty, you know, some stuff is kind of quirky, like with the cloth trim and the door panel. This is nice right here. And so, you know, overall it's for being an entry-level car, it's got a relatively decent interior. Everything makes sense with where it's put and all that. And then from a driving perspective, I like how it drives. It's comfortable, and you know, I wouldn't put this like on the level of a luxury car, but it's very daily drivable, just with how it feels and everything. Super, and it's zippy, it's small and zippy. So if you want like a small zippy feel, this gives you that. This definitely gives you that small, lightweight, zippy feel, basically. And so yeah, that's the new Trailblazer. Now let's get some things up for our video on this 2022 Chevy Trailblazer. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray for giving me some time with the Trailblazer. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in the next video.